Diane Abbott escalates Labour's immigration civil war in car crash TV interview. Diane Abbott revealed conflict and confusion in Labour's Brexit and immigration policies in an exceptionally awkward interview this morning. The Shadow Home Secretary exposed rifts between the Shadow Cabinet and the party's regional leaders, as she denied the party would dump support from freedom of movement. And she left the door open for Labour MPs to attempt to block in the House of Commons. She made the comments during an interview with BBC political editor Nick Robinson, standing as host of The Andrew Marr Show. Asked if the party would hold up a parliamentary vote on Brexit if they didn't get their way on workers' rights and other issues, Ms. Abbott said, "We're not going to block it in a trivial way, but there are really important issues for the British economy. If we lose access to the single market, let alone the customs union, that would be a huge blow to the British economy." She added, "Block sounds like we're being willful. We will make the case for what's right for the British economy. What else would you expect us to do?" Mr. Robinson suggested all Labour could hope to do is slow down business, asking whether the party was willing to frustrate Brexit unless they got their way. Ms. Abbott replied, "You make it sound as if we're playing the game. We're not playing the game. We're trying to get the best outcome for the British people." Mr. Robinson went on to highlight differences with Labour's local leaders on immigration policy. Ms. Abbott told him access to the single market and freedom of movement were inextricably linked. "It would be wrong," she said, "to put the economy anything other than first." She said it was misleading to suggest the party would dump freedom of movement. Last week, Andy Burnham, who is Labour's candidate for Manchester mayor, said, "The freedom of movement of people has been defeated at the ballot box. It is no longer an option." In response, Ms. Abbott smirked, saying, "We believe in regional autonomy and Andy has always had those views. But the truth is you cannot have access to the single market without a measure of freedom of movement." Confronted with a quote from Labour's own Welsh leader, Carwyn Jones, to accuse the national leadership of having a London-centric position on immigration, Ms. Abbott uttered a lengthy pause. She eventually added, "Wales, and the West Country, and the North East are the areas with the most to lose from Brexit." Mr. Robinson said, "So you as an inner London MP know more than the leader of the Labour Party in Wales and the man who's running for mayor in Greater Manchester?" She replied, "Well, if you're talking about immigration, if that's what they're talking about, my experience is that Labour Party members all over the country want immigration rules that are fair and they want reasonable management of migration. I've been all over the country and that's what I've found." Elsewhere in the interview, Ms. Abbott dismissed concerns about Labour's electoral woes, after the party slipped from second to fourth place in last week's Sleaford by-election. She said the result was disappointing, but insisted there's a limit to what you can extrapolate from by-election results. Ms. Abbott suggested there would be less public infighting between the party's MPs under new Chief Whip Nick Brown, and this would rejuvenate Labour's months-long poll slump. "As we come together, as people hear less noises off," she said, "I believe we can close the polling gap." The party secured just 10% of the vote in the Sleaford by-election, compared to a 34% share under Tony Blair. "Are you saying the reason for this dismal by-election result is the continuing legacy of disunity?" asked Robinson. She said, "The rumors of the Labour Party's demise are much exaggerated," adding the party's membership now makes it the largest social democratic party in Europe. She insisted the party would close the poll gap within 12 months. "We've had a pretty difficult 12 months, partly because of Jeremy's enemies in the party, partly commentators, but we have the right policies and we have the right leader," she said.